Hi there, in this video I want to share a simple exercise that transformed my head drawing from these to these. There's still tons of room for improvement, but the progress is real and practical, and I want to share exactly how I did it with you guys. The method is basically tracing. It sounds simple, but it's a game changer for practicing head construction. I'll demonstrate the exercise first in Procreate and then on paper. Skip to the section you prefer, but don't miss the bonus tip at the end. We're now in Procreate. Step 1. Draw. Import your photo reference and put it on one side. On a separate layer, start constructing the head using the Loomis method. Cranium mass, middle line, chop off side of the ball, hairline, brow line, nose line, chin, side of the face, jawline. Estimate where the ear is, and neck. If you haven't learned the Loomis method, there are already great tutorials for that. Like Procreate's videos, I highly recommend checking them out. Step 2. Trace. Create another layer. Switch to a different color. Turn down the opacity of the photo reference and directly trace the photo reference. Draw the Loomis head on top of it. This is your quote-unquote correct construction. You can also erase the lines that aren't needed. Step 3. Compare. Move your first drawing over the photo reference. Adjust the size to match the photo. Then turn off the photo reference. Ta-da! Now you'll see exactly where the proportions or angles are off. Lower the opacity of one layer for a clearer view. It's a little bit messy, but I think we can still tell. Overall, my head tilt has a larger angle compared to that in the reference, and if we want to match the overall likeness of the model, we need to increase the length of the middle third, because from the red line here, we can tell the model has a much longer middle third compared to the top and bottom. The overall head shape looked good, but my face is kind of too wide compared to that in the photo reference. Step 4. Repeat. Now redraw the head construction and compare again. You'll see your improvement each time. Over time, you'll even notice patterns in your mistakes. Maybe your faces are always too long, or your chins are always too narrow, or just weird for whatever reason. You'll be able to identify areas that need more work from this exercise. Now let's do this one more time using a photo reference with a more extreme angle. Draw it first, and trace, then compare. Okay, now let's actually compare. First off, my head tilt angle wasn't quite right. This was what I drew, and this was what's in the photo reference. I also labeled which line is which. This is where the brow line is in the photo reference, and this is what I drew. I drew it too low. Same with the nose and chin. My nose line is already close to where the chin actually is. Extreme angles are hard. I'll need to practice more myself. Alright, now let's do this on tracing paper. Prepare your photo reference. Go for brighter ones since those will be easier to see through the tracing paper. Place tracing paper on top of it. Mark the top of the cranium mass, the bottom of the chin. Lift the tracing paper if you can't see very clearly. I've seen people put a light box under the photo reference to see it better. Also mark the back of the cranium mass. Give your best estimate of where it is through the hair. You'll get a better sense over time. Now remove the photo reference and draw the Loomis head between these marks. Once you're done with the head construction, put it back onto the photo reference. I went over my drawing again with a blue ballpoint pen to help with the visibility on camera. You don't have to do this. Now trace a reference, use a different colored pen or pencil. Alright, I took it off the photo reference and let's compare these two together. So overall the head shape looked good. The tilt of the head matched the photo reference, like these lines and also these lines. I guess that's partially because I marked these points earlier. The side of the face can be a little wider compared to the photo reference. The most tricky part about this head angle is how to indicate chin right here. So because the chin is so up here, so this angle actually dropped lower compared to where the chin is. I just drew another profile view with a more straight on angle right here. This is where the angle is. It's way above the chin versus when the chin is very high up, this angle dropped to here. And there's actually a underplay right here. Anyways, from these comparisons, you can see where you're off and keep improving, instead of repeating your own mistakes over and over again. Even if you just do the tracing, you'll start to understand Luma's method better. Do this for 20-50 hats. I promise you will see big improvement in your hat construction. Once you're comfortable, start building on top of it. Start adding facial features like eyes, nose, and mouth. Do the comparison again to see where you're off. Maybe your eyes are always too big, but your mouth and nose are too small. You may hate what you have at first, but that's totally okay. That's where we all came from. Keep in mind, this exercise isn't about perfectly matching the photo reference or becoming a copy machine. It's to train your eyes to see the correct proportions so that you can construct realistic hats, even from imagination. I'm still doing this exercise to keep improving. Quick heads up, I'm not a professional or well-established artist. I'm just here to share what worked for me, and hopefully it will help you as well. I've got a bonus tip for you. This method isn't just for hats. You can use it to practice figure proportions, hands, or any tricky objects. I've done the same and finally stopped making adult figures had toddler-sized hands or feet. This method has totally transformed my hat drawing, and I hope it does the same for you. If you try it, let me know in comments below. I'd love to hear about your progress as well. If you enjoyed this video, check out this video or this one right here to see more of my drawing progress. Don't forget to like or subscribe if you want to see more drawing tips, my art progress, or fails. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!